Tonight on News 5 Live, the strike is on. Teachers walk out of class, unions slam attack ads, and the police say they will respect the right to peaceful protest. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
You've worked hard your whole life building your future, your family, your business, your home. And when you aren't around to safeguard your most beloved assets, you are at ease because you know they are protected by RF&G Insurance. For over 50 years, RF&G has been making sure business owners get back to work after an accident, and families get back into their homes quickly after a natural disaster. At RF&G, it's you who matters most. Visit us today and learn why it pays to get it right. RF&G Insurance, a Rowe Group company.
I strive to give my child the best nutrition, but I know it's not enough. It's also important to protect him. Clim Growing Up or Clim 1 Plus contains prebiotics, vitamins and minerals that help strengthen their immune system, helping them achieve 100% protection plus nutrition. That's why I give my child Clim 1 Plus. Clim, your love, their future. Clim 1 Plus is not a breast milk substitute from 1 year on.
Contraband is illegal importation of fruits and vegetables or any commodities entering the country from an illegal port of entry. Contraband fruits and vegetables do not follow required sanitary protocols and may contain pests which can endanger agricultural industries, livelihood, and can result in the exposure to coronavirus. When purchasing these goods, you place yourselves and the lives of your loved ones at great risk. We advise the public to report any illicit activities to the nearest customs or Baja office. The Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, the Belize Agriculture Health Authority, and Customs Department encourage you to say no to contraband and buy local.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live from Monday, April 26th. I am Marlene Cuellar. The Belize National Teachers Union took to the streets today in their first day of protest. How will the union sustain this protest action? And will their decision to protest further affect students' academic development during an already trying year? News 5's Paul Lopez followed the teachers in Belize City today to learn more. Here's that report.
All the way! All the way!
To stand shoulder to shoulder in solidarity with the Belize National Teachers Union today meant walking for approximately 2 hours at high noon. BNTU's Belize District Branch took to the streets of Belize City in a protest march that started at the entrance of the Marion Jones Sporting Complex and ended in the Yarborough community.
Today is our first day of strike. This morning our teachers went to school, did their work as they would normally do, and then they walked off at 11:30. So this signifies the beginning of a start to however long it will take us to get what it is that we want.
Our camera caught teachers walking out from the St. Joseph Primary School compound at exactly 11:30 a.m. this morning. Even though the principal there was reluctant to speak, a release from the school noted that up to 75% of teachers from that school participated in today's strike action.
And how long will it
take for you guys to go back to the classroom?
For as long as the government remains stubborn, we are going to be out here.
GOB says the unions are being unreasonable in requesting that they pass these legislation in a short period of time. And on Friday, inside the House, PM Briseno called on the unions to call off their strike action.
The BNTU right now is calling on the Prime Minister to remove his tenure off the table. We are also calling on the Prime Minister for them to remove that 8 months that they are saying that it will take them to implement these good governance issues. So if we want to call off, let's call off. You want to tell me go back? Then you move back as well and you do what you got to do.
At least 4 teachers at the Edward P. York High School informed their principal that they would be participating in today's strike action. EP York recently resumed face-to-face learning. At least 1/3 of the students' population were here on campus today. Principal Canto informed News 5 that she does not foresee any staffing issues unless strike action is sustained throughout the rest of the week.
We, though, are open. We're a government school and we will be open. We run classes from 8 o'clock to 1:30 and we currently have only about 170 on campus right now. And the parents have been calling and texting from yesterday asking, and the answer has been the same throughout. Yes, we are open. Yes, we will be having our classes. The reason I'm not worried about the strike action is because of as in impacting our students, it's because one, we are primarily online. And secondly, we teach by departments, and the kids that are on this campus are the kids that we are just giving extra support to.
If the strike action needs to run into tomorrow and a few days after now, do you see a long-term sustained strike action affecting your school's operation?
Well, definitely that would concern me. And but like I said, because we are online, we use primarily Google Classroom and Teams. And I would exhort the parents to get into these classrooms with their kids.
The minister responsible for public service, Henry Charles Usher, has already informed Cabinet of his intent to fix the salaries of public officers and teachers to reflect the 10% salary cut. This morning on Open Your Eyes, Usher said government's wage bill has become unsustainable.
The wage bill has ballooned out of control really in the last 12 years or so. As a matter of fact, in 2008, when the PUP left office, the wage bill was around 275 million. In 2020, adding in wages, the transfers to school, because you know there are some transfers where the school pays the teachers, but we have to transfer the funds. And pension, we're looking at around $650 million. So we see that steep increase in wages. And really, as I said just now, the economy has not been growing. So what you have is that the wages making up more and more and more of all the money that government creates, the revenue that government collects. So now we're at 83%. 83% of or 83 cents out of every dollar that government collects goes into paying these wages and so on. It's just not sustainable.
People we interviewed in downtown Belize City today gave varying views on the teachers' position to exercise their right to strike.
I actually voted blue, right? And we had the government was in for 18 years. You never hear they march and do this and do that and do that, not like that. But now, since blue, like you said now, wanting they to get things back in order, wanting things they to go back in good order, right? Big old thing with them now. They want to stop this and stop that. But why didn't they march?
I said the teachers they have to fight for their rights. Okay? Jump high, jump low, the government wants to go, he can't do it. So because teachers, they work hard for whatever they want. Okay? Even when in the school, whatever thing they buy, out of the pocket. Government don't give them support for buying things for them.
If they're against the government, 100. I understand this present government just take office a few months and also then fresh. We should give them while he run, but if you ask me to choose between the government and the teachers, I there with the teachers any day over the government.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says that the police department is working to maintain order while still allowing the teachers and public service officers to carry out their constitutional right to protest and strike. Williams speaks about the department's approach.
We as a department who have been tasked to ensure that law and order maintains, what we'll be doing during this time is not to be confrontational with these union members. You would know that we're in a time of COVID, and COVID-19 regulations do prohibit mass gathering. And so what we have been doing is to work with the union by exercising restraint, but at the same time we advise them to ensure that they are in compliance with the COVID-19 regulations. We do not want that one of these events may cause a super spreader of the virus. And so it is important that they do so. And I must say that so far they have been compliant. We have always seen the unions and the teachers as our friends. They are not enemies. And so whatever we can do to ensure that the events that they have is being policed, then we're going to do so. But in terms of going after them and be confrontational, we're not going to do that now.
2 murders were recorded over the weekend in Santa Elena town in the west and in Punta Gorda to the south. In today's broadcast of criminal activities over the weekend, we begin with the murder of a retired BDF soldier who, while working on duty as a security guard, was killed and robbed of his firearm. The entire incident was caught on surveillance footage and was leaked on social media. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The cold-blooded murder of 57-year-old Lionel Oliveira Sr. was caught on surveillance camera outside Kaya One Stop Hardware Store on the George Price Highway in Santa Elena town. There is where the former BDS soldier worked for the past 3 to 4 years. But on the night of April 23rd, 2 men came up to him and fired a single shot at close range. He is then thrown to the ground and robbed of the company-issued firearm he carried.
He was quickly rushed to the San Ignacio Community Hospital by officers, but he died whilst undergoing treatment. What the police know so far is that sometime shortly before 10:30 p.m., Oliveira was on duty for a security company which he works for when he was approached by 2 male persons, one of whom was dressed in a blue long-sleeve shirt. Those persons, upon approaching him, one of those persons fired upon him, and obviously the reason for him being approached was that they wanted to get a hold of the firearm that he was in possession of.
The news came as a shock to the family because Oliveira Sr. was an upstanding, law-abiding citizen who was targeted by armed thieves.
It was a sad moment for me because I found out until the next day morning. It's a good thing I already had breakfast when I find out. Because as a diabetic patient, I can't take that. They had a different title and I thought it was my other cousin. Because they had Oliver, but then one day my husband said, give me the phone, and when he searched, he said, it's your uncle for true. It was a sad moment for me because he's not a person that have enemy with no one. He had only 3 more years to work, you know, and I was always say to him, Uncle, why you want to do security? You already retired from the BDF. Security is very scary, I would say. And he would say to my husband, why we get a new job, why don't you come? My husband said, I retired from our security, I don't want to go back to security. But that's what he loved. That was his dream, to always be working for his own.
Several persons have been detained within the last 48 hours as the investigation continues into this latest homicide in the West. While the surveillance footage captures the crime, the clothing they wore was discarded following the murder.
Yesterday, some clothing was found in the Bradley's Bank area of Santa Elena town, which we believe was used by one of those persons who had approached the deceased. At this point in time, we are looking for several suspects in relation to this investigation.
For Lourdes, the killing of her uncle opens old wounds.
It's like a new reminder to me from what I have been through. I lost two by killing. One I faced it, and now, well, this one I didn't face it, but it still brings back a lot of memories to me. To an innocent old man.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Last Thursday night, Kevon Wade was shot dead on his veranda in Punta Gorda by a gunman who came up to his property on Main Street and opened fire. Surveillance cameras in the area caught images of the gunman as he fled the area on foot. Over the weekend, police charged one person for the crime, which may have been ordered by someone else.
Police investigation so far has led to the detention and charge of a 16-year-old minor from Belize City for the crime of murder.
Sir, any indication as to what triggered that fatal killing?
We are following several stories, one being that the minor is alleged to have had a confrontation with the deceased prior to the incident. And we also believe that it may have some drugs or gang affiliation in respect to what happened.
So maybe a hit, that's what you're talking about?
Could have been. We are looking at that possibility.
2 days after the murder of Kevon Wade, shots rang out once again in Punta Gorda, about a quarter-mile away near the welcome sign to the municipality. Dwayne Myers was sitting in his vehicle when he was killed. Today, we asked Assistant Commissioner of Police Joseph Migrant about the incident and if Myers' murder is related to other recent killings in PG.
Around 8:10 p.m., police were also called to an area along the seaside at the entrance of Punta Gorda town, where they observed one Dwayne Myers, 49 years, sitting inside his white car with apparent gunshot injuries. He again was immediately rushed to the Punta Gorda Community Hospital, where he died whilst undergoing treatment. What the police know so far is that Mr. Myers had just reached the area and parked near a bus stop when he was approached by two male persons on a motorcycle who came and fired several shots at him, causing injuries, which later led to his death. Upon examination of the scene, two different types of ammunition were found by the police.
Are these two murders related? Because we don't normally hear about murders.
We are trying to piece together that to see whether or not they are related. We are following several leads, but at this time there is no confirmation that they are related.
And could this murder be linked to the murder of Dennis Trapp that happened?
We have heard that story too, and that's a part of the investigation.
There have been 2 murders within 48 hours in Punta Gorda. This is not sitting well with the community or the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams. He is in that southernmost municipality this week to look into the criminal activity believed to be as a result of gang warfare. And Commissioner Williams says that the department is not going to have it. He speaks to the strategy to ensure citizen safety in Punta Gorda.
It is not shocking to hear a minor killing somebody. That has been the norm. If you look at most of our murders we have had of recent, the perpetrator is always a minor. And that is the sad part, because oftentimes you hear parents crying, oh, that baby, that was minor. No. Those are the ones who are going to look you straight in the eye and kill you. And so as a department, we are mindful of that as well. It does not mean that we're going to be harsh or rough with minors, but there are some minors that we must come down hard on because of the fact that they have developed that criminal propensity from an even much earlier age. We continue to see an issue in terms of gang rivalries in Punta Gorda town, and as a department, we're pretty much concerned about it. And just this morning in our conference, I briefed commanders as to what our course of action is going to be to address the ongoing issue in Punta Gorda town. May I say that as a police department, we owe it to the people of Punta Gorda to ensure that we provide the level of citizen security that is so rightly deserved. I just announced some changes that will happen in Punta Gorda town as early as this week. We need to ensure that we put people in place who are going to fulfill the mandate of the department within the scope of what will be done in Punta Gorda town, that it will encompass that aspect. It is not to say that we're going to be soft on criminals, because those persons who are part and parcels of the problem in Punta Gorda, I can assure you that they're going to feel the wrath of the police. But the wider citizenry who are law-abiding and are in compliance, they're going to experience the softer side of police. We want to promote an atmosphere where the people are going to feel free and confident in speaking to the police officers, particularly those who are in charge.
The acting director of the Department of Youth Services will be joining Commissioner Williams on the visit to Punta Gorda to see what services can be provided through the DYS to deter the recruitment of minors into gangs and from engaging in criminal activities. Coming up, there is more news after the break, including a frightening home invasion in Belize City.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Do you need to apply for a Social Security card? With our newest online service, My Social Security, applying for a card just got easier. With a My Social Security account, you can apply for a card anytime and anywhere, putting you in control. To use this service, you must first create your My Social Security account. Visit our website. Under Online Services, select My Social Security, provide your personal information, and await activation of your new account. After activation, you are free to log in to your My Social Security account to complete your online application for a Social Security card. Be sure to book your registration appointment to finish the card application process. Gain control and truly experience Social Security at your fingertips.
Offside!
Was that a goal? Over.
My name is Julie, and I'm a single mom raising a 10-year-old son. I am the director for a conservation organization. When I started working in the field of marine conservation, it was absolutely male-dominated. It still is male-dominated. One of my first jobs was as a manager out on a remote island with all male staff reporting to me. And one of my assistants was very upset with me and actually told me, the only woman who ever tells me what to do is my mom. And I have my son, and I really do want to show him that really anything can be done, and it doesn't matter who you are. From day one, I've been teaching my son that any job that a man can do, a woman can do. And he has learned this, and he now preaches this to friends and even my colleagues.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
Are you tired of poor customer service or products that don't live up to your expectations? Fletz Electronics, centrally located in Spanish Lookout and Belmopan, is Belize's #1 source for mobile electronics since 2009. We carry the largest selection of mobile phones, parts, and accessories with prices you won't find anywhere else. We stand behind the products that we sell and offer a 60-day guarantee on all electronics. We are dedicated to offering the best customer service possible. Not from the area? No problem. We offer fast delivery service countrywide on most orders. Our online staff is ready to chat on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Fletz Electronics. Visit or chat online with us today and find out how we can best serve you.
So, I'm going to wonder if by chance I could get your number. Digit. Nice.
Of course, you have digital, right?
Yeah. Of course.
The truth is, your credit lasts way longer with Digi. Like if you top up with like $30, that could last you 90 days. With the other guys, that must save 60. Then with the other guys, you have to use all of your good prime credit before you even touch your bonus credit. But with Digi, you could use your bonus credit before you even touch your prime credit. Like what are the points to have free credit if you can't use it how you want? So, what are your number?
Just give me one moment.
The truth is, only Digi offers nationwide LTE coverage, fastest mobile data speeds, and the best call quality.
Police are working to solve a shooting that occurred over the weekend in a village on the George Price Highway. 2 men who were injured were taken to the hospital, but they left soon after and are not cooperating with authorities.
Sometime around 6:15 p.m., police were called to an area in Blackman Eddy village, just across a pedestrian ramp, where they learned that a vehicle was broken down, and at the time in the vehicle were Tristan Popper, 23 years, and Delroy Cardenas of a Belize City address, along with another male persons. They are claiming that whilst they are attending to their vehicle, they were approached by several other persons in a blue car who fired shots upon them, injuring both Cardenas and Popper. Both have been treated and discharged themselves from the Western Regional Hospital, and at this time they are not necessarily cooperating with the police, but we are continuing to proceed with the matter. We are looking for several named suspects in relation to this investigation. According to them, they had broken down, as I mentioned, and they were just in the process of dealing with their vehicle when they were approached by those persons.
Just randomly fired at?
That's the story they gave us.
But sir, any chance that some previous rivalries from the city where I believe these men are from just caught up to them on the road?
That is also an issue we are following, but at this time we do not have anything concrete to suggest that that is the case.
Belize City has been relatively quiet over the last 2 weeks, except for Saturday, where a man was shot in Belama. 2 people have been detained pending charges.
Kyle Chaplin reported that he was cleaning a lot at Belama Phase 5 when he was approached by 2 male persons who fired several shots towards his direction. He ran away and was only grazed to the back. An investigation was carried out, and we have 2 persons in custody who will be charged later today.
So what has the investigation shown to be what triggered the shooting?
Some rivalry that Chaplin has with these persons, and they targeted him in that area in Belama.
On Friday night, a vehicle assigned to a government ministry was involved in an accident on the Arenal Road just before midnight on Friday. The government employee told police he was heading home when he drove off the road, hitting a culvert and then flipping over. ACP Joseph Mivet says that the report received so far is that Jose Dominguez fell asleep at the wheel.
Police were called to Buena Vista Street in San Ignacio Town shortly after 11 p.m. where they observed a gray in color Toyota Hilux overturned on Buena Vista Street. Upon their arrival, they met one Jose Dominguez, 42 years employee of the government of Belize. He's an engineer with the Ministry of Infrastructural Development and Housing with minor injuries. As a result, he was escorted to the San Ignacio Community Hospital, where samples were taken from him, and he was there where he was attended to. He claimed that he was on his way home on Arenal Road in Benqueviejo Town when he apparently fell asleep and lost control of the vehicle. Some parts of the vehicle had minor damages, where I believe the front portion he may have run into a culvert, so a part of the front portion has extensive damage. We were trying to ascertain whether or not he had permission or authority, which he failed to answer us, but we believe that he'll be in today, where a proper statement will be recorded from him in respect to the accident.
A family in Belize City was stunned to be held up at gunpoint in their own home. Not only is the culprit someone they know, but it is something the woman of the house went out of her way to help in times of need. News 5's Paul Lopez has more.
A weekend home invasion on Santa Barbara Street in Belize City has left the family traumatized and one man behind bars. Lucilla Leslie is a baker who sells bread and bun for a living. On Sunday night when she came outside, she was met by a gunman in her yard. The gunman, who Leslie recognized as someone from the community she regularly assists with food, forced her back inside her house at gunpoint.
So I got inside. He had the gun behind my back. I got inside, and when I reached inside, my gentleman made in the chair, made sit down. And I tell him, Paul, this young man, they call. Yeah. So, like, he not made hear me, so I say, Paul, and he get up. And when I get up, they tell him, the man say, I want the money. I said, we not got no money. And after that, he talk to my gentleman and tell him the same money thing, and he take the gun and he saw, bow, by him. And when he look, so when he look, they see blood.
Right away, the gunman took the gun from off my wife and pointed at me and asked me where the money there. So I tell him which money talk about, big man. And I know we not got no money right now with the struggle, and I have no money. And then right there, he struck me on my head with a weapon, caused a serious injury to my head. And he continued demanding that where the money there, and I told him that we don't have no money. He take the gun and he crank it, they put one on the head, and it like him very serious. So I tell him, please, big man, don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me, don't take my life, and I want you to shot me. And I have no money, but I have my phone.
The culprit proceeded to pocket Leslie's phone. He then went to Leslie's 15-year-old son's bedroom, where he allegedly pointed the weapon at the minor and stole his phone. The gunman then ordered Paul Leslie to open one of the drawers in the room to search for additional items. According to Leslie, he then made good his escape through the front gate with over $1,400 in valuables. For the Leslie family, this invasion of their home comes as a shock because the alleged perpetrator has received assistance from them on several occasions.
Did he refer to you all by your names? Did he call your name?
Yes, he called my husband name and he called my son name. So we know exactly, we know his voice. So we know exactly like and then the piece I hear me the show and his face, we know everything about him. Whole face me the show.
By the accounts I've heard about you, you are an honest, hardworking woman that seeks to make your wage through humble means.
Yeah, I am a person that I do bread and bun at by public 3 bits. I do my bread and bun, do my bread, bun, Johnny cake. Sometimes he they're out there here and say, Miss Peace me, I should Mr. Fair, I say, boy, say I'm bun here, say I'm bread here, have this. Like that's I don't know him and do me this.
Do you believe that is what this culprit was after? Your sales, the money from your sales?
They have my money for my sales when I make that the money when he may want. And I don't have no money.
The Leslie family told News 5 that they no longer feel safe in their own home. Lucilla Leslie says she is hesitant to go back out to sell her bread and bun for fear that someone else may be watching her. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
After the break, the gift of life for some young cardiac patients. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Welcome to Nazarene High School. You can apply today. Application fee is only $15. Completed forms must be submitted at the office at Nazarene High School, Princess Margaret Drive. Get your applications from the various primary schools in Belize City, at the Nazarene High School office on Princess Margaret Drive, and at the Nazarene High School Facebook page. Documents required: Standard 4, Standard 5, and Standard 6 report cards, and recommendation from principal or Standard 6 teacher. Nazarene High School, educating the mind morally, spiritually, and academically.
BWS launches its residential amnesty program to aid customers. For those who have fallen behind, you can now take advantage of our arrears assistance, which allows you to get up to 10% rebate on all arrears payment. Our early payment rebate is opened and is automatic to all residential customers who pay their bill in full 5 days earlier than the due date. You receive a 5% rebate on your next bill. BWS Amnesty Program, designed to assist you.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
BH Paints, we call a champions. Yes, we got colors, plenty of colors. We painting up the whole Caribbean. Yes, we got colors, plenty of colors. We representing red, yellow, blue, white and green. Any color for you. BH Paints.
Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
As police officers, we are expected to continue to carry out our duties, trying our best to uphold and also to enforce the health regulations.
The police department has an important role in the overall fight against this pandemic. We have been affected greatly as frontline workers, but now we have a vaccine to help us move forward as a country. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. I will take the vaccine when it's my turn. I urge you to take it too. Hashtag Get Vaccinated Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do not hesitate, Belize. Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait. Vaccinate.
If you care, love them,
protect them,
vaccinate them.
My name is Julie, and I'm a single mom raising a 10-year-old son. I'm the director for a conservation organization. When I started working in the field of marine conservation, it was absolutely male-dominated. It still is male-dominated. One of my first jobs was as a manager out on a remote island with all male staff reporting to me. And one of my assistants was very upset with me and actually told me, the only woman who ever tells me what to do is my mom. And I have my son, and I really do want to show him that really anything can be done, and it doesn't matter who you are. From day one, I've been teaching my son that any job that a man can do, a woman can do. And he has learned this, and he now preaches this to friends and even my colleagues.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
The Nature Conservancy says that with the help of local and international partners, it has acquired some 236,000 acres of the Belize Maya Forest for conservation work. According to TNC, the idea of acquiring the then privately owned property began way back in 2005. Program Director Julie Robinson tells News 5 that they have since created a trust to manage and protect the land, which protects more than 70% of the watershed in northern Belize and is a hotspot for biodiversity and forms a bigger piece of Central American forest called the Selva Maya. According to TNC, the protection of this area is fully aligned with the vision for comprehensive national protected areas for Belize, first championed in 2005 by then Minister of Government John Briceño. Robinson tells us more about Belize Maya Forest.
That area was one of the areas that really needed to be protected and included in Belize's National Protected Area System. So it's been on everybody's radar, on government, on NGOs' radar for over a decade, well over a decade. So more recently, what has been happening is different both local and international organizations have come together and say, look, this is an area that is at threat of being deforested and clear cut, and we needed to come together and do something in order to protect it. So based on that, this coalition got together and we were able to raise the funds to purchase the property from a US-based private company. And the important part about that is really what we're doing is we're bringing that back to Belize, because prior to, for over a decade now, that's been owned by the Forest Land Group. They've been using it for sustainable logging, but it's been closed off to any other access. It's been, it's private property. So part of what we want to do is to we'll be doing stakeholder engagement with all the buffer communities, including all the communities that are within the watersheds that the Rio Hondo feeds, to get a better understanding and an idea as to how do we utilize this property in a way that aligns completely with the conservation goals that we want to see, but also in a way that it will also support the local communities, support the economy of Belize, and also assist us to really have it to incorporate it within our National Protected Area System.
And this Maya forest that Robinson speaks of forms part of the parcel of lands that Minister Henry Usher raised concern about at the budget debate on Friday. You'll recall Usher said that just weeks before the elections, the government signed an agreement with the Nature Conservancy to waive their land taxes for 50 years on 2,060,000 acres of land. Today we spoke with Robinson and we asked her to clarify that agreement, to which she said there was nothing shady. It is a standard tax waiver extended to nonprofits like Nature Conservancy, who has been working in Belize for 30 years.
The 236,000 is part of that 260. The 260 is that we are expecting another donation of property that would then equal the 260,000 acres. So yes, it's the same property.
Are you able to share with us how did that agreement come about with the government?
Well, I think it's really important for the public to understand that these agreements are they're commonplace. It's something that happens. We are a nonprofit, right? Which means that what we are doing is it's not for the gain of the organization. It's really to help to protect areas that will benefit people and the government. So for that reason, nonprofits they're able to get these, to get these waivers, because what that means is that more funds then go back into the protection of that site and in creating jobs and in being able to protect those ecosystem services. I can tell you that, next door, for example, like I mentioned in the Rio Bravo Conservation Management Area, this is something that Program for Belize has in place as well. They've had it for over 30 years. So this is nothing new. It is nothing different. It's something that occurs all over the world for nonprofits, and it happens here in Belize. It's because of the type of organization that we are. That's one of the reasons, and that's the reason why we are actually able to secure those types of waivers. In addition to that, though, what I do want to mention is, while there's that waiver, I think that we really should take into consideration the amount of funds that we would put back into the economy for the protection of this property that goes way beyond any waiver. The creation of jobs, for example, and just the amount that will be, the amount of work that will go into that, as well as, again, just protecting and keeping healthy soils, clean water, fresh air. These are all things that have a value to the country and to the whole region.
Studies show that 1 in every 100 children will be born with some form of heart disease. While most of the cases are mild or easily treatable, there are some that are life-threatening and difficult to treat. In Belize, there are limited services, and for many parents, it is too costly to undertake on their own. So they look forward to the Rotary Club of Belize's Gift of Life program, which makes pediatric cardiology services more accessible. Today, News 5's Andrea Polanco stopped in at the Lions Club in Belize City to find out more about this year's program.
The Rotary Club of Belize, with support from the Lions Club, is hosting its annual Gift of Life program. The program is for children from birth to 18 years of age with congenital heart disease.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness was kind enough to allow us this because there are children here that have gone nearly a year without any follow-up treatment. And so they gave us a sort of a priority to have this thing done, because a lot of the children are in a really bad shape. And right now they're being assessed if they can be treated here, will they be sent abroad. They have to arrange for hospitals in the U.S. who will accept them.
A medical team from Nebraska, led by pediatric cardiologist Dr. Jeff Delaney, is heading the 3-day clinic in Belize City to evaluate children with known or possible heart conditions or for a recommendation for treatment.
Well, we just started this morning, but we've already seen a variety of heart disease, including holes in the heart, extra blood vessels, all the way up to and including hearts that are significantly malformed and don't have all of the normal pumping chambers or valves, and that can be a serious problem.
From the conditions you've seen today, how many roughly, approximately, are treatable?
Well, most of what I've seen today is treatable. I've seen a couple of kids that have more difficult conditions where the treatment may not be able to completely fix the problem, but hopefully could make them more functional and happier as they go through life. But not everything has a complete cure with surgery. Some of it just has to be fixed to the best of its ability.
So there are children here who may be referred later on for surgeries and things like that?
Yes, that's something that we look after quite a bit through the course of the evaluations and afterward, is that some children will need specialized surgery or procedures that need to be done elsewhere. And fortunately, the Rotary has an extensive program with referring hospitals and centers throughout the Caribbean, Central America, and the United States to get kids placed if they're able to get accepted for the procedures elsewhere.
The medical team from the Children's Hospital and Medical Center in Omaha is sponsored by the Downtown Rotary Club in Nebraska in the USA. They've been coming to Belize at least once a year to hold clinics and refer children for life-saving treatments abroad.
There's numerous kids that their lives have been saved. I can think of one child probably 6-7 years ago who had what they call a transposition. The artery and vein were inverted. Where the vein should be, the artery was, and that child had to be sent to the United States. And it was lacking oxygen and it was blue. And with a fairly uncomplicated procedure in the U.S., they were able to reverse and correct the defect, and that child's living a normal life. Another young lady came up to me several years ago, and she said, "Mr. Leroy, I was in Omaha 11 years ago. You fixed my heart." She had run several miles in track that day and was studying to be a nurse. So that's really rewarding.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
In the coming days, the team will be in Dancrega to conduct clinics for the southern districts. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the clinic cannot accommodate walk-ins and therefore advises parents to call Gift of Life at 610-3890 to make an appointment. The International Office of Migration and the United States Agency for International Development hosted 2 mobile migrant hubs in Toledo to provide information and services to migrants for safe and orderly migration. The mobile migrant hubs offer a single location to provide information and services where regularized migrants can obtain foreign national documents, applications for work permits, birth certificates, and other documents. This weekend, hubs were held in southern villages.
We've already covered Bella Vista, Valley of Peace, and Benque. We will be going to Placencia, I think in May. We'll be doing San Pedro, Belize City, Orange Walk, Corozal, and Dancrega. So by August, we should have covered the entire country.
What's great about this program is in so many ways it's saying you are entitled to certain services. There are things that you can get. You just need a little help figuring out what may seem like a not complex process. But for somebody going through it for the first time who doesn't know all the rights and wrongs of what they're doing, to have some help from folks that do know makes a huge difference.
When we return, gas prices change again, but this time a bit of good news. Details when we come back.
Rain or shine, any weather. When we go ball, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go ball, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say ball, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go ball, we go Berger. When we go ball, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go ball, we go Berger.
Electricity. We use it to power our appliances, charge our devices, and light our home. Let's all practice energy conservation at home and in the workplace. That's unplug chargers when not in use, lights off when not in the room, turn off fans and TVs. You can also look for Energy Star products and change lights to LEDs, which reduce energy cost. Let's all save energy.
What if the profits of your bank were shared equally with you instead of with unknown shareholders and large corporations? What if those profits remained in Belize to enrich the communities where we live? What if just having an account with your bank meant that you were now a part owner of that bank? What if your voice mattered and you had a say in how your bank is being run? What if your bank was always looking out for your best interests and its biggest goal was to see you succeed? That's what it means to be part of a credit union where all of our members are in this together. Communities work best when they work for each other. Cooperation strengthens us all. Discover the credit union difference and find out just how stronger we can be together.
Currently, we're using Smart Elite Vibe calling plan. We use it interbranch, we use it to call outside, and we also use it to call international. It's far cheaper than what we used to have before. Our new PBX box is new. So the PBX is very good because I can call to my Sartaneja branch, I can call to my Kikaker branch, I can call to San Pedro branch, and there's no cost using the PBS. Actually right now, since we're in different locations, I can call main office from where I am at a no cost using the PBX system. I would recommend it, sure I would, especially the big enterprises who has a lot of employees. There's a lot of reduction in costs, 50% of saving. But that on a year, it's a lot of money that we're saving. Money that we could return to our members since we give back dividend to our members.
Visit our showroom or call 670-6710 to find out how Smart's corporate plan and PBX systems can benefit your business. Consultation is free.
Some citrus growers in the Pomona Valley are alarmed about mining activities along the North Stank Creek River. Today, Citrus Products of Belize Limited came forward with a complaint that the extraction of minerals by a Mennonite concern operating in the area is causing considerable erosion of citrus groves and private property. The waterway spans 40 miles and empties into the Caribbean Sea at the estuary in Dangriga. Since being granted a mining permit, the company has removed minerals from a location behind Pomona Village, which landowners say directly threatens farmlands. Earlier today, Dwight Montero, an employee of CPBL, spoke about what they are experiencing.
Presently, we have West End Construction Company who is mining in the North Stank Creek River that passes behind our citrus orchards in Pomona and behind the Pomona Village. Since West End Construction Company commenced constant mining in this part of the Stank Creek River, erosion during flood become a serious problem for us. For CPBL, where CPBL start losing citrus trees from erosion of riverbank, and the villagers downstream in the Pomona Village start to lose a portion of their property due to erosion. Apart from getting their property destroyed, the villagers are not getting nothing from West End Company for fixing street within the village, nor any contribution to the village council. So at this point in time, this company mining in the river is destroying citrus products of Belize citrus groves, and at the same time destroying property of some of these villagers that live along the bank of the river, and no one is getting any benefit from the mining of this company in the North Stank Creek River.
According to Montero, residents have met with the principals of West End on previous occasions, but the company has yet to address the concerns of the community.
This type of mining in the North Stank Creek River needs to stop so that CPBL stop losing their trees and land, and the villagers can reassure that their property will not continue to erode. June month will be coming shortly. It's the commencement of the flood, of the rains and floods, and I'm pretty sure that the way the present mining is taking place, CPBL will lose more trees from the erosion, and also some villagers will continue losing a portion of property that borders the riverbank. So it's a serious problem, and West End needs to know that when they were granted this, I'm pretty sure when they were granted their mining license, I'm pretty sure it's clearly stated in there how to do the mining in these rivers. So far, there's no fruitful discussion because West End just continue to do what they want to. CPBL have not sit with them personally and speak to them as yet, but we are pretty sure that that will be forthcoming.
News 5 will have more on this developing story in our newscast on Tuesday. Motorists will experience a slight relief in the cost of fuel at midnight as the price per gallon of premium gasoline will decrease by 38 cents. The new price as of April 27th will be $11.26 per gallon. All other prices, including regular gasoline, kerosene, and diesel, remain unaffected at $10.69, $6.87, and $9.96 per gallon. The rising cost of fuel has been an area of concern amid the dire economic situation that the country is already facing. Just ahead, deja vu. This year's teachers' strike echoes one in 2016. A look back at the issues then, which continue now. But first, here is the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Available now at Bravo Motors.
Why, Tony?
Boy, Keith, what you going on, man?
We actually come see we can need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just noted the last batch must be about like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have that thing? What are you going?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800-A-WAY OUT or our cell phone number, 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize, with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. es un hecho. Sé smart y vive de forma smart.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and NextGen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, NextGen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay, everyone, thank you for following me today.
NextGen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your NextGen's ultra high-speed internet service. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
In more from the BNTU protest today, some in the union are pushing for a boycott of certain media houses. According to President of the union, Senator Lena Smith, this is in response to the airing of certain anti-union government ads. But the union is reportedly being specific in the media houses they're targeting. In essence, Senator Smith says the union will be pulling back support from those media houses intent on ridiculing its members.
Well, if it is that these media houses are putting out these ads that are going against us as unions, then do you expect that we would support them? Yeah. Of course not. We can't support them when they are going against us. They need us just as much as we need them. And so they want to make money, and they are making money off of these ads. But are you going to sell your soul to the devil just for some money? That's not how it's going to work.
Are you boycotting all media houses? Because I think all of them are playing ads.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
most of them.
I
guess not only DBN and all of them.
We have some media houses who have been open and willing to work with us, to have us on their radio shows, you know, to assist us along the way. Those media houses will continue to support because they have supported us. But the ones who have taken the hard and fast position that they are going to be going against us and calling us stupid and all kinds of things on their show, then that's a different story.
What does the boycott look like?
Well, not supporting in whatever way it means.
No interviews for these media houses?
As best as we can, we will refrain from supporting those media houses.
Today's walkout and street protest by the members of the Belize National Teachers Union is to protest salary cuts, but it is also a continuation of union pressure on the government of Belize to adopt good governance laws. In October of 2016, teachers stayed out of their classrooms for 10 days, urging the then Barrow administration to take an 8-point good governance agenda seriously and halt a 3% proposed pay cut. The proposals, co-sponsored by the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, included the call for Belize to sign the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Just weeks later, in December of 2016, Acting Deputy Prime Minister Patrick Faber did sign on to UNCAC on behalf of Prime Minister Dean Barrow. Here's a look back at the union activism in the streets and passion at the podium that got the result 5 years ago.
Despite the Garifuna drums and the remix, Sweet Pea in Style, of the enduring anthems We Shall Not Be Moved and Solidarity Forever, despite the almost cloudless day, and despite the many looking on from the sidelines as their parade swung through the downtown and into the north side to culminate at the BTL Park, most of the teachers of the Belize District branch of the Belize National Teachers Union marched with solemn mien, perhaps contemplating whether they can continue this somewhat lonely crusade for justice. But they found their spirit and energy in the breezes wafting from the Caribbean Sea, issuing fiery broadsides at the government of Belize for condescending to them. Teacher and Christian Abigail Hoare said from the rostrum that there is no compromise for corruption.
Unfortunately, we have many leaders that have been making unwise decisions, causing me to wonder where is discernment, where is wisdom? People flying in our country, people sitting in offices, people going to the House of Representatives, speaking on behalf of a smaller group of religious believers, religious citizens of the country, and making unrighteous statements, unrighteous decisions. God is a God of justice, and He's the same yesterday, today, and always. And His words will never change. There will never be a time where God said it's okay if it defend wrongdoing.
St. John's College's Yasser Musa says the strike has proven to be inspiring to the persons they most want to be paying attention. And in this case, we don't mean the politicians.
I think that the patience of the teachers have been the most amazing thing, where they have not let up and they have been deliberate and strategic in their commitment. And we are all inspired by that. And I think the people who benefit the most from this action are the children. The children of Belize have not gotten a better lesson up to this point in history in civil action. Not a better lesson.
For an Anglo Joel Wade of Wesley College, the big mistake the government has made is to underestimate the teachers' result.
2 days I will give you now. 2 days! Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I go back to school. You don't hear me then? I give you 2 days. Monday and Tuesday, and by Wednesday, you see crazy people out there, you're not supposed to be back to school. Well, it's a day 4. And the way I feel right now, if you don't know alright, you have to use a sub-teachers. I don't call them substitute, I call them sub-teachers. They definitely have to get one for me. Because when I stand up, I look behind to see who stand with me, you know. Oh. Tell the folks, we're in this for the long haul. It's now or never. It's now or never. And if we have to walk into Belmopan to have a meeting with the PM or somewhere, if somebody could come where the hell for somewhere and have a meeting with you, and we are right, and you can't even go sit down and talk with me, something no much wrong with you. Something no much wrong with you. Huh? So, we that nobody.
But their students are with them, and for proof of that, we found 2 students among the many marching in the parade.
Let's out here to support. We're here today in support of all of our teachers because we know that they are here for a cause and we are standing with them.
Also standing with them and their teachers is former Minister of Education Cordell Hyde and Senator representing the business community, Mark Lizarraga.
We have to support all those issues, man. We have to support the teachers getting their 3%. I mean, teachers they're in the only profession where they have to take monies out of their pockets and invest in their business. They have to spend hundreds of dollars each year to get their classes ready. They have to spend money in the morning time to feed kids who come to school who don't have anything to eat. Feed kids in the afternoon who don't have anything to eat. Help their kids with school fees, help them with their personal essentials. They have to take money out of their pockets and they never get reimbursed for that. You understand? The other issues, those are our issues. Those are governmental issues. Those are issues that every single Belizean, whether red, whether blue, yellow or green, should be fighting for.
The business community has several shared concerns that the teachers are championing today. And I thought that I should come out and lend them my support because these are matters that have that the business community has been calling for and championing for a long time. So we have a common interest today.
The overwhelming turnout and support is heartening for Belize District Branch President Kathleen Flowers.
That to us is indicating that we are making an impact. Our message is reaching and our message is causing people to stop and think if the brush we've been painted with is really true. And with the support we're getting from the community, we'll use that to help give us guidance as to where we're going to go in the future.
Evan Humes reporting for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at News 5 Live. I'm Marlene Cuellar. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.